and your emotions in the brain. This is why for most of the people who smoke cannabis, they end up committing one crime or the other. Because that center of the brain responsible for controlling stress and emotion is tampered with. This THC will come and block it. This, if it happens repeatedly, that's the time you develop mental illness. So people should never believe that I just smoked once or twice. Our threshold is different. Let us know the quantity of cannabis you take can render this reoccurrence of problems within your brain cells, thereby causing mental illness. And the psychology is not only on you. That's the physical aspect. When they have this mental problem due to cannabis, they start insulting their parents. They start stealing. They cause some havoc to the society and community outside. You see them undressing themselves, making sexual attacks in the streets. These are some of the manifestations. The individual will stop doing things that he loved doing before. If I love going to school, I will not be going anymore. If I was working, I would not work. I can no more harmonize and live with my family. These are some of the manifestations. They start telling you, Mange Gis Hali Salasi I, I'm seeing President or Ban Ki-moon, I am this. They are very grandiose. These are some symptoms that anytime someone is using cannabis, please stand for this individual. And the effect is not only on the person, but the family. Because for every mom, you want your child to be the best. Now, if I happen to have a mental illness because of substance abuse, how will my mom be? Because my mom wanted me to be a doctor, a banker, a pilot, or whatsoever. So that psychology will affect my mom, and this is how it goes around to my wife and kids. So the effect, the psychological effect and the physical effect of cannabis is detrimental to yourself, to your family, and within the larger community that we live in.
Well, that's important, Mr. Samba. The health aspect of it, as we all hear from Dr. Dauda Samba, is very important that we know it, because it's detrimental to all our health. And we've seen in the past that the NDAA, on the Ministry of Health and Social Welfare, engaged in the seizure of the, how to call it again, that thing that the youth use, Tutapak drink. And it is also one of the drugs that the NDA and of course the Ministry for Health and Social Welfare engage on. And now that we've almost, not been seeing that into the markets. Can you tell me, Mr. Eco PL Grant, how far has the NDA gone in trying to seize all these illicit drugs that we're talking about?
Thank you so much, Debuso, and good evening, viewers. Basically, the NDEA has a mandate, and that mandate includes for us to make sure that, the use of illicit drugs, if not totally eradicated, would be lessened in its lowest form. Like, we have, like Mr. Samba actually said, the most common drug that we have in the Gambia is cannabis. Most of our catch here in the Gambia is cannabis. Like, if you are going by statistics, in the 2010 to 2011, statistics locally, we have over 300 young people being caught with this cannabis drugs, and these are illicit drugs. So this goes to show our stance when it comes to this. The government has made it very clear that the use of drug, the abuse of drug, those that are bringing drugs here is not going to be tolerated in any form. And that is our mandate. So it's basically, this is the day that we are about to celebrate, is the awareness part, which is very important to make sure that young people of the Gambia, young people of this country do know the effects of, illicit drug, the use of drugs. Like Mr. Samba said, if young people use this drug, and at the end of the day they are affected the way that Mr. Samba just explained, it's like the burden comes back to the family. It comes back to us, back to society, in one way, and the government, because all of these people are to be, let's say, if we have 48% of young people, mental health patients at the Tanka being as a result of these drugs, it's like the burden is back to the government of the Gambia, it's back to us as, members of their families, it's back to us as a community or as a society and all that stuff. So it's like NDEA is here to make sure that all this thing is prevented. The importance of this day, like my PRO here said, is to celebrate and create that awareness within our community on the dangers of drugs, like illicit drugs. the commonest one we have, like I said, is cannabis. So it's like more or less, I mean, telling young people that the use of this drug is totally harmful to them. We are all affected in one way or the other. You can say that I wouldn't use drug, but you cannot say that any of your family member would not use any of this drug. So it's basically down to all of us to make sure that this awareness is created so that everybody is, I mean, enlightened on the effects of such drugs. The NDEA, we have gone far, and we will make sure that the fight against drug doesn't only stop within this level. It's like we want to take it to the community. We want to take it to our parents to educate them so that they can talk to the young ones to desist from the use of drugs or, you know, patronizing or selling of this drug, because it's basically damaging in all aspects. There is nothing good. The only, the most, I mean, the most, I don't know how to put it, but it's like the most intriguing thing about drug is there's nothing good about it. There's nothing good about drug. There's no positive sides of drug. That's the basic thing we need to know. There's nothing positive about drugs. All it does is damage you, damage your health, damage your family, and damage the community at large. So we will make sure that, I mean, whatever we can do within our mandate to make sure that it is, I mean, stopped, we will do. No doubt. The command is committed to that.
Okay, to add on that, ECHO have touched a very important point. You see, the fight against drug is on two folds, supply reduction and demand reduction. I think it's undoubted that NDA have been arrested, have been arresting big-time drug dealers. They have been paraded on TV. People have been seeing them. They have been prosecuted. Those found guilty are being sent to jail. But, I mean, that's not only the fight. The fight, as I said, the supply reduction entails the arresting, prosecution, convicting traffickers, taking them to jail. I mean, and taking them to jail is not by only condemning them. Prisons are correction centers for them to be reformed, for them to be rehabilitated, to be better person in, you know, society after serving the jail term. But on the other side, to the demand reduction, this program is in line with the demand reduction aspect, which is all about education, awareness, prevention, treatment, and rehabilitation. It's unfortunate here in the Gambia we don't have a rehabilitation center. So I think, as the saying goes, prevention is better than cure. Before you think of rehabilitating someone, I think it's better for the person to prevent himself from being an addict, because it is very easy to get involved in it, but very difficult to quit.
Exactly.
This is very important.
Okay, very easy to get involved and very difficult to quit. These are the members of the National Drug Enforcement Agency and a representative from the Mental Health Coalition, WHO. mbokk yi comme ni ngeen ko fi gisee rek maa ngi leen fi toogal tey seen xarit Ndeye Bousso moo leen fi toogal ànd fi ak ñi nga xam ne ñoo jógee si National Drug Enforcement Agency di ñi nga xam ne ñooy xeex wàllu drug na suñ ko waxee bokk na si taay bi ak yeneen yi nga xam ne moom la nit di use pour mu tàggoo ak sagoom am fi tamit ki nga xam ne moo fi toogal tey Mental Health Coalition mooy ñi nga xam ne dañ am feebari xel taxawal fi WHO fii si Gambia bi di Dawda Samba su ko defee liñ fi jotal na wax si angale rek dina allow suma paneliste yi doore ko si Dawda Samba pour liñ fi jotal na wax si angale bu dee dinañ ko mën a tënkal si soose Dawda
luñ dooree woon mooy di gërëm nguuri réew mi
Mandinka
in Mandinka okay nga dati min nan wolen kanna Mansakunda ka jey ka tentu ka taning NDE la wolen kafo min be loring kanyi nyamu ko aning drugs dol ka kele nyim banko kan mi yati na nata jambi wolen ka kachake ka jibe ntol bem fam ma koy no la nyaadile nyin droko la ko la especially ka nyamo min sabanka faye tay na Mandinka kanto sama de nyanta juraro ke la juraro mi yalon ko dunia bele ba ke la sama jun karo ateli mwani woro ñi lungo mu muneti dunia be ye tilikili ne tomboy ko ni wo lungo sita alimbe kafu nga jibero ke mbe ñin drop wol kelo no la nyaadi len na banko kan sa kontol la jang Gambia mi ya lon ko na tay wafilal na sabalal na dokulal isiata bake ñin banko kan wala tinna samo ka bo somanda ka bo have around 9:30 or 10 mbe bola nang around pipeline mosque jang NDEA be damento mbe match passos la wolen katama ka bo pipeline mosque pipeline jang kata fo KMC nim futata KMC nga